Hey guys, welcome to another video. And in this video, I'm going to uncomfortably talk about the Woman King. I have to address it. Not a lot of people are, and I think they should. So I'm going to talk about it, then I'm going to give my opinions on the movie itself. But I have to talk about the history because it's a little distasteful, I guess you could say. And then I have to do more research, of course. I did my research before going to see this movie because I was reading online that this movie is very historically inaccurate, and I did a little research, and I found out, yeah, that's true. Yeah, very true. And after watching this movie, I'm like, okay, I could see why some people would be very insulted by this movie and not want to watch it and feel it's disrespectful to the history and the culture and stuff. I get it. 100% understand. As a movie itself, it's decent. It's pretty good. It's like an action movie and like kind of like this fictional history movie, action movie. It's pretty good. Like, because like Val Davis is good in the movie. John Boyega is very good in the movie. Most of the actors are good. The costumes, the action, for the most part, is pretty good. It's pretty solid. There's some really stupid moments here and there, but for the most part, it works as a film and it's good as a movie. But as a history movie, because it is supposed to be based off a true story, it's kinda is, but it kinda isn't. And I want people to go do their research first. Because I don't want to talk too much about it because I feel like I'm going to get some facts wrong. I don't want to do that because I don't want to be insulting to the culture and to the people who lost their lives and stuff. And I don't want to do that. But if you do research of this West African kingdom, and you do your research on this tribe, these female warriors, the movie is almost 100% inaccurate because like the movie addresses the slave trade and it talks a little bit about that in the movie. It does, but it doesn't talk enough about it, and it doesn't talk about the sheer despicable things this kingdom did. And like in the real life story, John Boyega's character, the king, when he died, they sacrificed like 800 slaves, and anytime old people got too old, they decapitated them. Like, they don't talk about those things though because they don't want to paint these people as horrible people, even though they did really horrible things, and the film doesn't really want to talk about that. They want to talk about all the heroic things they did. And Viola Davis in this movie plays a fictional character who isn't even a real character, and they just don't want to talk about all the bad things and how they were all pro-slavery. It's a little uncomfortable and stuff. The movie is more fictional. It's a very fictionalized, kind of like a what if kind of thing. And there's a problem with that, though. And everyone's like, well, Quentin Tarantino did that with, like, Django Unchained and Glorious Bastards and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And yes, he did do that. But he did it in a respectable way. He did it that the good people were still the good people and the bad people were still the bad people. Like, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he didn't make the Manson family the good people. They were still bad. They just got killed by fictional characters. Same with Inglourious Basterds, and same with like Django Unchained. He didn't make the slave owners good people. No, he just made Django, who was a fictional character, shoot them all and kill them all, which was awesome to watch. Great movie, and it's fun watching Jamie Foxx as Django kill all these asshole rednecks because they deserve it. But this one does the opposite. The bad people are the good people in this movie, and it's a little distasteful and disrespectful to watch. And I'm just like, yeah, and it really jeopardizes the film. And everyone's like, we should judge it as a movie. I'm like, yes, you should judge it as a movie, but the movie is an historical movie, and it's talking about an historical event, and they're glossing over a lot of it. And it should be talked about, and you should judge the film because the film's a history movie, so you have to judge it as a history movie. If the movie, because the movie's promoted as a true story, based on a true story, It's very fictionalized. It's not at all based on a true story, really. It's very fictionalized because they don't talk about the crazy shit that went down. So it is a very big deal. Like Braveheart is based off true story, but they don't fully say that because there's a lot of fictional things in Braveheart. But they still got the bad people to be the bad people, the good people to be the good people. But they never said one side was straight good because they both did very horrible things. This movie is painting like, yeah, these are the good people, those are the bad people. I'm like, you're both kind of the bad people. So it's, yeah, that's why this movie is a huge problem. And it affects the movie because it is an historical movie. And again, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is not an historical movie. It is it's a fairy tale. Django Unchained, it's also almost like a superhero movie. Inglourious Basterds is a fictional war movie. This movie is painted as an historical, true story history movie. And that's not what it is. And that's the problem. That is a huge problem. And it ruins the entire film, and it becomes very distasteful and very insulting to all these people that lost their lives, these slaves that were killed. It's almost insulting to them. And I think this movie should have been about the slaves taking over this kingdom. Like, it should have been a fictional story. Like, Viola Davis plays like maybe one of these like warriors who was like a slave, and she wants to fight back against the kingdom and take the land for themselves and not be ruled by this ruler who's doing all this evil. Like, that's what the whole movie should have been about. Should have been about the slaves not being slaves anymore and, like, taking their land back and their freedom back. That's what makes Braveheart so inspirational and stuff. That's what makes even Django inspirational and stuff, because Django is fighting for his freedom, and when he gets his freedom at the end, you root for him. But this one is making the bad people the good people. And even the battle with the French, they don't talk about that. How that battle was lost very quickly. Like, there's tons of inaccuracies in this film. It's very insulting to history and the culture. And it needs to be talked about. And yes, Viola Davis also, I should address, she shouldn't have promoted the movie like she did, saying, like, people don't want to watch this movie because there's a female lead in it, and that's bullshit. And, like, calling people, like, maybe racist because they don't want to watch this movie. I'm like, no, that's not it. People who know the history of the kingdom and stuff, they don't want to watch it because it's insulting. And then it's offensive, and it's disgraceful. That's why people don't want to see it. It's got nothing to do with it being a female action star. Not at all. It's about the history and the culture. So, as a film, like, it works fine, but they probably shouldn't have used the same names and everything. If this was just a fictional, like, movie in the 1800s, the movie could have been a fun, like, 7 out of 10 enjoyable film with great performance by Viola Davis. But no, it's a history movie. And it's completely wrong in its history, and it's insulting. And for that, I have to give the movie a 4 out of 10, because what the movie stands for. And I can't recommend a movie that does this. So that's all I gotta say about The Woman King. Let me know in the comments below if you know more about the history. Let me know in the comments. Like, educate me, please. And I'm not saying that to be sarcastic. Like, no, I want to know more about these people and this kingdom and stuff. I want to know more. I'm doing more research about it too. So let me know in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions and the history of all this. I'd love to know. Have a great conversation with you guys. Take care. Join the dark side.